Hey everybody, welcome back. Movie review time, where we geek out about a movie we just saw, and we just saw Tiny Girls.
Try again.
Small Ladies.
Nope.
10 Little Indians?
Wrong genre.
Little Women.
There you go.
Hey! So that should be my thing now. The no spoilers, I'll do silly titles. The spoilers, you can do aliens. Anyways, we're here to... Oh shit, we spoiled it already. We're here to talk about the Oscar-nominated, Greta Gerwig written and directed feature film remake in 2019 of Little Women. We're right out of the theater to do this review. We're also going to do a spoiler review, but of course we will not have spoilers in this. If we say a spoiler, we'll cut it out. You'll be fine. I know it got warm in here. It's like 20-something degrees outside and snowing, so you know, we just wanted to feel like we're in Chicago with all the Channel Awesomeites. But yeah, so we're going to talk about Little Women. It's Oscar season. Of course, we're doing all the Oscar movies. We might talk a little Oscars at the end of this as well, because we've seen a lot more stuff since our last review. But yeah, so that's how this works. The other things to tell you is we're not movie critics. We don't consider ourselves reviewers. We just like movies and like talking about them. If you want more movie reviews faster than we get it to YouTube, you can check out my Stardust app, where I do 30-second reviews, or we do, and reactions. Or you can check out Patreon, where I do full movie reviews and a whole bunch of other stuff. Find those by looking up TheEricButts using the link in the description below. I feel like I'm forgetting one thing that we say, but am I not?
I think that was everything.
Like you were listening. Alright, so Little Women, really good, really strong. I'm pleasantly surprised with how much I liked it.
Okay, I really liked it. Very well made, very well written, very well acted, but I have a feeling it doesn't exactly have a hook.
It doesn't really pop for you.
Right, I mean, because a lot of these other things have something big and bombastic.
I do kind of see what you're saying.
Or a twist or something, and this is very straight up. I mean, there is dramatic stuff, but it's not like over the top.
Yeah, I've got you. I mean,
it's basically slice of life.
Yeah, you could almost use the word flat. I don't know that I would call it flat, because again, I think the performances really sell this a lot, and just the way it's put together. But I do get where you're coming from. There's, like you said, there's not really that special thing. I think it's really mostly nominated because it is more of a prestige flick, where you have a lot of fantastic actors giving fantastic performances with some great costume design, great visual effects too, when you think about it. Because I was like, there's a lot of visual effects houses involved in this, and I thought, I guess you got to change all those skylines and recreate that era of time, and I had never thought about that till I saw it in the credits, so they did a fantastic job. So I think all that's really good.
King of those damn telephone poles out of the shots.
Basically, yeah, I mean, stuff like that, for sure. I did care, like, when certain emotional things happen, I definitely got emotional. I had to remember this was a no spoiler thing. I almost said one. Pleasant surprise. I did not know who was playing a certain character, and that character showed up. I'm like, oh, cool. And Mary actually knew who it was. We'll talk more about that in spoilers. I do think Saoirse Ronan? Queen Saoirse Ronan.
The one whose name...
Yeah, best picture. I mean, best actress. I think she was fantastic in this. I think Florence Pugh, best supporting actress, also did fantastic in here. At this point, I've seen all of the best actor nominees except for Scarlett Johansson in Marriage Story. But still, with the 4 I've seen, I'm going to still say it's between Renee Zellweger and Charlize Theron at this point for me. Because I think Saoirse, I think she keeps getting better. I know I'm saying her name wrong, but it's fun to call her Cersei because it's as close as I can get right now. We heard it on the way to the theater and I've already forgotten. But I do think she was really good, and I do think she deserves the nomination, but I also think a lot of people in this movie were really good. Emma Watson was a joy to watch in this. All the sisters were a joy. I think the chemistry was fantastic with all of them. Yeah. Even Timothée Chalamet, I think, did a fantastic job in here. I think all the chemistry was great. It felt real, which was nice. It didn't feel like stuffy old, oh, let's adapt a book in a Hollywood fashion. It felt real.
It felt very 20th, 21st century.
Not overly so, but yeah.
Yeah, it's. I didn't feel like people were trying particularly hard to put on airs that, yes, this is the mid 1800s.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're getting at what I'm trying to get to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently my voice is trying to go out on me again. I don't know what's going on. I think it's the weather change.
It's really cold, really dry.
And it just churned from 50s to 20s in a day. So I think it's messing with me. Yeah, and I think Meryl Streep was fantastic in this. I loved her character. I mean, I didn't love her character, but I loved her portrayal of her character in this. So that was a real... But Laura Dern, to me, is kind of the underrated star of this one. I thought she was really great as the mom.
Yeah.
And she really did some awesome, subtle things in her performances.
I think it's just because she's just not in very much of the movie.
That's fair. But I think, honestly... Even though Florence Pugh did a fantastic job, I think maybe Laura Dern should have been Best Supporting over her if you were going to pick somebody from this movie.
By the way, I was going nuts trying to figure out where I've seen her from. Where I've seen her from is a bunch of movie trailers.
Florence Pugh, yeah. Turns out, same here. A lot of things I want to see I just haven't gotten to, because we were both like, she is real familiar. And we haven't seen any of the movies, like Midsummer, Fighting with My Family. What was the other big one? There was another...
she's going to be in Black Widow.
Oh, yeah, Black Widow. I think she's the sister, I think.
Yeah.
So we just haven't seen her in much, but I thought that was kind of funny.
But it's like, we just keep seeing her in trailers.
Now, the pace of this movie overall is really good. I feel the ending kind of dragged. But, I mean, that may just be an issue with the source material, but it was like...
I thought
another ending kind of thing. And it's like, okay, I'm ready. I'm good.
I kind of was for a moment. There's like, wait a minute, are we going meta? I got
without spoiling.
Without spoiling, I got temporarily confused at the end.
I did kind of like that though. See, I had a little bit of confusion in the beginning because they kind of go back and forth. I can't remember if this is actually in the book or if the book was more linear, but they jump back and forth in like two eras of their lives, basically. And it took a while for me to realize that was what was happening.
Oh, I didn't have that problem because it said 7 years earlier.
Well, it said that once. But then it was doing time jumps again, and I never really... It took me a while before I could pick up on, oh, now I see the cues to know when I'm in which era.
Okay.
So, I mean, it wasn't terribly confusing, but it was a little bit. Honestly, though, part of that may be our fault. There's actually only 15 minutes trailers on this one. So that's really cool. But where we usually plan to get in there about 10 minutes after the start time to miss a bunch of those trailers, we were running a little bit late, and like... I wanted to get some popcorn, and I got recognized for crying over Star Wars by one of the employees, and they wanted a picture and all this stuff. So we literally sat right as the movie started.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit flustered, and I guess I didn't have that at least 5 minutes of, okay, ready to watch a movie kind of thing, you know what I mean? Because we walked in on the Coke commercial. I was like, well, while Regal still has Coke. That's probably why I'm buying popcorn so much right now, because I just can't. Pepsi's just not going to work with popcorn, man. I'm not going to stop going to... I like Dr. Pepper, but that doesn't do it with salty-ass popcorn. There's just something about popcorn and Coca-Cola. And I'm sure I've just been indoctrinated from all the things, but that's me.
Yeah, I have no such feelings.
Yeah. But anyways, I really liked it. I thought the music was excellent. The production design was fantastic. I mean, again, nothing really, like you said, nothing terribly stand out, but...
It's one of those things where it's not big and bombastic. It's just really well done.
Yeah. I completely agree. It's just solid. There's nothing really to complain about in it. And then again, I kind of wish I could remember more of the book because again, I would love to give an opinion.
Read the book.
I read it in junior high. I mean, it was like forced read, but I remember enjoying it. It stuck with me a little bit. And I think again, because I grew up watching all these movies about badass chicks kicking ass, it was kind of nice to see literature about, yeah, here are these women back in an era when it's all about women should just have children and do, kicking ass and taking names. So I'm like, fuck yeah, I like that book. But again, we've had in modern times, we've seen a lot more of that. So that's not quite as powerful of a message as it once was. It's still important, still a necessary message because it still needs to get out there. But so maybe that was a little underwhelming for me as well. What was it Greta Gerwig did that was nominated? Lady Bird. But Lady Bird was what she did before. Yeah. Also with Saoirse Ronan. I think it's like Saoirse.
Saoirse?
It's not.
Saoirse?
I don't even think it's actually Saoirse. I think I'm just being a prick.
It's Welsh or something, and you look at the letters and you're going like, I think you're cheating at Scrabble.
Foreign names, man. It's we're Americans. What are you gonna do? The education system has failed us. Actually, we were in the education system just as it started crumbling. So. We got out before it got real bad, but I was going somewhere with that.
Lady Bird.
Yeah, I think maybe I think I liked Lady Bird more. I just figured since we have a writer-director teaming up with the SAR again and it's Oscar-worthy again, but even that,
Actually, I think I like this better than Lady Bird.
Yeah, well, maybe it's just because I've seen this. It's been interpreted so much. Maybe is why I'm knocking it down a little bit.
Yeah,
maybe.
Actually, I've never read the book. I've never watched any of the movies because I didn't really feel like wanted to read the book, so I wasn't really interested in watching the movies either.
That's fair.
Because I tend to shy away from like the Jane Eyre.
I'm not huge on that either.
Bronte and Austen stuff.
Yeah, that's just not a style that I'm a big fan of either. But but that worked for me, I thought. But anyways, so Little Women, I think it's worthy up there. I don't think it's going to win. I don't think it should win. Maybe adapted screenplay. I'd have to look at who the others are because I don't remember what else was adapted for the screenplay. Maybe it could get that win there, or maybe costume design. Again, I have to remind myself what it's up against. But in terms of big picture and even performance, I'm not so sure I'm going to give it the wins. I think the nominations are deserved.
I have no idea who's up for costume design.
Yeah. Now, we have at this point seen 6 out of 9 of the best pictures. So because we haven't put out a review yet, but it's coming probably. Parasite, which is great. Jojo Rabbit, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. 1917. I'm sorry, I got like ink marks or something on my fingers, and I don't know where that came from, and it's very weird.
Okay. You distracted me.
Joker.
Yeah, Joker. And then Little Women.
Did
you already count that?
Oh, crap. Let's do it this way. All right, we saw Joker. We saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. We saw Jojo Rabbit. We saw 1917. We saw Parasite. We saw Little Women. Yeah. Those are the 6 we've seen so far. You know what? Definitely Parasite, Jojo Rabbit. Those are like my favorites. So I'm going to move them up. But 1917 still is the winner for me of those 6. So those are my top 3 of those 6. So then I think I go Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in the number 4 spot. Then it actually gets tricky because Joker has been at the bottom. And not that that's a bad place to be. Again, we're talking about 9 films out of like hundreds that came out this year. So it's not like I'm saying, oh, it's at the bottom, I hate it. I'm just saying of those 9 films. But Little Women actually might, I don't know if I...
See, Joker has the whole thing. You're watching somebody having this breakdown. It's very dramatic.
Yeah.
And that's going to probably stick out in your brain a bit more than the Little Women who, yes, they had their ups and downs, but they were relatively mild ups and downs compared to some things that you see in the other movies.
I think I'll agree with that. So I do think maybe Little Women is the bottom of my 9 and Joker will take the 5th spot. You have a ranking? Any ideas yet? Any thoughts on that yet?
I would prefer Jojo Rabbit or Parasite to win. That's because I like the stories better.
Yeah, I just don't think they will. But they are my favorite ones that I'll probably rewatch more than the others. Although 1917 is fantastic.
Yeah, I said 1917 only wins for me because of how they decided to shoot it.
But I mean, that's a big part of what filmmaking is. So I mean, that's like half of what filmmaking is your interpretation of a material, how you translate it to an audience. So.
Yeah, it's just like if they had done it more traditionally and not made it look like one long shot.
I agree. But,
I mean, because that is extremely ambitious. Yeah. And I will give it that.
And I agree. And I'm not faulting you for saying that at all. I'm just making it clear that is, that's a big part of what filmmaking is. So.
Yeah, but is that what the Academy's actually voting on?
Well, most of them, yeah. Because they typically go for like anything that's big old school Hollywood production. Like things that are like true Hollywood that you can only do in Hollywood. You can't afford to do on indie stuff. Yeah, that tends to really win the voters over, typically. We'll see. There's not really anything if there was another war movie up, we might have a split decision thing like a Green Book like last year, but I think it's pretty solid so far.
Well, it'd be another war movie or somebody who did, again, something really ambitious cinematography-wise.
Yeah, which I don't think of the 9, at least what we've seen.
I agree.
Yeah. And again, the all-in-one shot, not cinematography, but we talked all about that in the, that's a directorial choice, not a cinematography choice. So we talked about that in the actual review.
Yeah.
Cinematography so far, I don't remember who's nominated, but I'm pretty sure I would give that to... I mean, 1917 is a strong contender, though, because we talked about that, some of the lighting, but we're not doing our full Oscar thing here, so I think that's enough. We can move on from that. Okay. But I want to get to the spoilers, because I'm hoping we'll also go ahead and shoot a Parasite review, since we just saw that.
All right.
But so we're going to wrap it up. Let us know. Stay out of the comments if you don't want spoilers, because sometimes people just get excited and spoil things. But let us know if you're going to check it out or whatever. You can also click the thumbs up button, give us the good old thumb of encouragement, as we do love to be encouraged. Check out the Stardust app and or my Patreon looking up TheEricButts using the links in the description below. Now we're going to get out of here. I'm going to rest my voice a second so we can shoot the spoilers video, and we'll talk to you all later.